What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for some more content for you guys, and we're not kind of used to making this content. Day 25, and Tottenham brought us a new signing. His name is Arnaut Danjuma from Villarreal, which is a loan with an option to buy. Striker slash left winger. Fabrizio Romano gave us the here we go yesterday, and today he says Villarreal announced that Danjuma deal also includes a buy option for Tottenham if they want to sign player at the end of the season. It's not a mandatory clause, so it will be up to Spurs. It's been announced by Spurs. It's been announced by Villarreal.
Yeah, bring up the announcement, I think.
So we'll bring up the announcement. This is the video of the announcement, and I'll just read through the announcement on the Spurs website. And it says, "We are delighted to announce the signing of Arnaut Danjuma on loan from Villarreal until the end of the season, subject to international clearance. Born in Lagos, Nigeria, Arnaut began his career as a youngster in the Netherlands with a team called Top-Os and PSV before joining NEC Nijmegen in 2016. After scoring 14 goals in 46 appearances over 2 seasons for NEC, he joined Club Brugge of Belgium ahead of the 18-19 campaign, swiftly helping them to the Belgian Super Cup, going on to score 6 goals in 25 games for them, including 2 appearances in the Champions League. Arnaut subsequently had his first taste of the Premier League when he joins Bournemouth in August 2019. He spent 2 years on the South Coast, scoring 17 goals in 52 games before signing for La Liga side Villarreal in August 2021. During his first season with Spanish club, he was a regular starter in their run to the Champions League semi-final, scoring 6 goals in 11 appearances in that competition, while adding a further 10 league goals in 23 La Liga matches. During the first half of the campaign, he scored 6 goals in 17 matches in all competitions, taking his overall total for Villarreal to 22 goals in 51 games to date. On the international stage, he was first called up to Netherlands senior side in October 2018 and earned a recall last season, and currently has 2 goals in 6 caps to his name. So that is on the Spurs website. That is the announcement that Spurs have given us. And look, no matter what you think of the signing, it's just great to see a signing through the door finally after 25 days of this window.
Yeah, definitely get an exciting forward player who's got pace and trickery, can add depth to the forward line. No longer are we going to be looking at our bench and thinking we only have 1 or sometimes no attacking options. Now we can have Richarlison to come on, we can have Danjuma to come on. If one of Son or Kulusevski or Kane are on the bench, we can have one of them to come on now as well. So it's very promising. I think there are 2 ways of looking at this deal, to be honest. There's obviously a positive outlook and a negative outlook you can have on this deal. I think in the positive way, adds depth to the attack, gives qualities to the front line that we don't currently have, with dribbling, pace, a bit of strength from the wing as well. Versatile, can play up front, can play on the left. Obviously had a very good Champions League campaign last season, had some good big performances and some big games as well last season for Villarreal.
Man of the matches against Manchester United and Atalanta last year in the Champions League. Yeah,
so I think there are things to be excited about. On the other side, if you're being a bit pessimistic, I think needing a player who predominantly plays, I know he's been playing up front for Villarreal, but he predominantly plays up front in a 2-man strike force. And actually, if you look at his heat map, I saw a brilliant video breakdown from the Euro expert yesterday. If you look at his heat map from majority of this season and last season, he actually plays on the left anyway, even when he's up front. He cuts inside a lot. Was a left winger slash striker something that we desperately needed when we already have Richarlison and Son in that position. Hijacking an Everton deal, which was pretty much set to sign, doesn't really shout of greater planning, and doesn't really tell me that this is a signing that was planned for before the window and that we've always wanted, and it smells to me more of an opportunity that Spurs have kind of pounced on. Is this a Conte signing, or is this just another opportunistic signing?
Screams of opportunistic signing. Let's be honest.
Is this a signing we would have made if he wasn't available on a cheap loan deal, which he is available on?
No.
So that's something to be slightly concerned about.
Are any signings we make that case though? Like, do we ever plan the signings, or are they all opportunities? That's the problem with Spurs at the moment, isn't it? There's no planning. And I think everyone that we've brought in, especially under Paratici and Conte, have all been opportunities. When you're looking at Kulusevski, Bentancur last January, all opportunities. Perisic comes in on a free. Bissouma, do we really go for him if he's not an opportunity in the last year of his contract and stuff like that? So I think every sign, I think it's clear to see that this is definitely an opportunistic signing.
Yeah, and it just screams to me again very similar to the window when obviously look. We'll get into other signings in another video because apparently there could be some more coming. But this does definitely look to me like a signing for like Bergwijn. He's very similar profile to Bergwijn, who for some reason Conte, despite impressing in cameos, never really gave a chance to. And this definitely looks like a Bergwijn kind of signing when in that summer, in that January, we were desperate for certain positions. And we ended up signing, ended up spending money on an opportunistic signing on Bergwijn, who became available in that window, and we didn't really need him. That was a position we didn't need. And is this a case of again, us Spurs signing a player who might be a decent player and it might be a good opportunity from a signing point of view, but is he a position and a player that we desperately need in the squad? I mean, again, left wing striker. You could argue that's one of the most well covered spots in the squad right now, despite Son's form. You know, obviously letting him down right now, but you could argue it's one of the most well covered spots in the squad. So that from that point of view, I'm not sure why this signing was completely necessary, but I think more positively. I think you should be positive by this signing. I think if you're not relying anymore on Lucas Moura and you need another attacking option and someone who's a bit more of a dribbler, which Conte has previously said that the squad is lacking, someone who could take people on 1v1, then I think that is positive. And obviously with Champions League coming around the corner, where the games are coming thick and fast, we're going to need players like Danjuma to kind of make an impact, and he has Champions League experience as well. So I'm positive about it, but obviously I don't want to sit here at the end of the window thinking he's only Danjuma and then that would be a good window, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But I think I'm positive about. I think if you take the signing in isolation, I think it's a decent. I think it's a very low risk. There's not much downside to this deal, really. If it fails, then he goes back because there's only a buy option, and if it succeeds, we can get him for we only spent $2.5 million on him for the loan deal, and you can probably sign him for what I think it was. There's no confirmed figures, but they're saying around 27 million euros. Not that much. So I think it's low risk.
It's also a deal that maybe at the end of this loan deal, if it suits all parties, you could potentially do a straight swap deal for Giovanni Lo Celso, regardless of the buy option at the end of the loan. So yeah, look, I'm happy with the deal. I thought maybe we could have set our sights a bit higher. In terms of what you're saying, that we didn't really need him in this squad, but I kind of disagree, because I always felt like we need another attacking player in that front line. Always calling on Bryan Gil, who Conte doesn't really trust. Lucas Moura is nowhere to be seen. So I definitely thought that we needed another player in the attacking line, and I get it that he does predominantly play on the left-hand side, but he is very much two-footed as well. So I don't see why he can't play on the right as well. So I got a feeling that he could play all across that front line, not just on the left or up front.
Yeah, but clearly he's more naturally on the left. We've seen it. His whole career, he's predominantly either played on the left or up front. And when he's played up front, it's more from the left-hand side as well. He might be able to play on the right, but so can Richarlison. But we know Richarlison's not as comfortable there, and I have a feeling Danjuma is that as well. When I say we don't, it wasn't necessary. I mean, someone who plays on the left. We need someone who plays on the right predominantly. We need someone who's more of a natural right winger, and Danjuma is most definitely on the left. I don't think that's in dispute right now. He can maybe do a job on the right, but he's not naturally a right winger, and that is a bit of a concern from my point of view. But as I say, hopefully his versatility can help us, and hopefully maybe he can do a job on the right hand side, and maybe I don't know, maybe we can work our way around it. But I'm just saying, of someone who's a natural left winger / striker, we have two of those. So I don't understand why we need a third naturally left person on the left. But I agree, we needed a forward player. I've said that all window. We definitely needed a forward player. But look, I think hopefully he'll be a good player for us, and hopefully he's an exciting one. That his dribbling should excite people, and his ability to finish as well.
Yeah, and there's a stat here saying that since the start of last season, Danjuma is one of the only 2 La Liga players, along with Vinicius Junior, to score more than 10 goals with both of his feet, left and right feet, across all competitions. So I think that's fairly impressive. I mean, we look at Son and how good he is with both feet, and how much it stands us in good stead. And I think it'll do the same with Danjuma as well. So look, I think that you're definitely right to have your reservations about this player, if he's good enough, if he's going to hit the ground running. Can he do it from now until the end of the season and really prove us he's here to stay, and if we want to sign him. But also, on the other hand, I think it's a signing that we can get excited about. We've seen good performance from him in the Champions League. 2-man the match awards, 7 goals, and I think 10 games it was in that Champions League run. So I'm fairly excited about this signing. I really am.
Yeah. I mean, me too. I'm excited as well. I'm not saying it's a terrible sign. I'm just saying there are 2 ways of looking at it, and it's up to you guys out there, the viewers, to decide what way you're going to view it and what prism you're going to look at.
Well, let's have a look at see how he does stack up against the other Tottenham attackers, and in terms of FB ref and all those percentiles that everyone likes to look at. Well, so let's go and dip into those.
Well, first look at his general scout report. This is from the last 365 days. I've got a comparison ready as well. In terms of goals, he stacks up fairly well for this is against forwards. So forward/wing forwards, I'm guessing as well. So he stacks up okay against the forwards. Obviously, these are penalties, so assists, not so great. When it comes to shots total, two per game, not great. Bottom 30%. Shots on target, not so great. Shot on target percentage is okay. So when he does able to get the shots off, they usually are on target. But when it goes goals to shots on target, goals to shots, average distance, these aren't fantastic. What is good though is his XG. XG per 90, 0.59, which is very high. So he does get in good goal scoring positions. He does often, and he gets in often as well, clearly. So his XG is pretty good.
So more of those Bergwijn Leicester moments is what you're telling me, yeah?
That's what I'm hoping for. When it comes to passing, he's not the best passer. He doesn't make that many passes.
Join the club.
Join the club.
Yeah, none of our team can pass well.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Exactly, he's in the right place. Pass completion is 74%, which is okay. Then it comes all the short passing. These are the crucial ones. So assists, 0.06 assists, which is fairly low. It's not great either. Although expected assist is a lot higher than actual assist, so maybe he's being let down by his teammates. We can only hope. So his expected assist is a bit better. Key passes, just under 1 a game, which is in below average. Unfortunately, so it doesn't have passes into the final third, very low, one of the worst in Europe, it looks like. Bottom 3%, not great. Passes into the penalty area is a bit better. He's above average, and crosses into the penalty area is above average as well.
When it says passes into the final third, is that passes from outside the final third into the final third?
I guess so,
or can it mean whilst you're in the final third to pass as well?
I'm guessing passes into the final third. Or in the final. It's a good question. I can't give you the answer. I'm guessing it's passes in the final third, which would be fairly low. I can't give you that answer. Progressive passes, he doesn't make too many going forward at the moment anyway. But at least he crosses quite a lot. I don't know how accurate these crosses are. Pass types, we can just skim over that. Goal creation, shot creating actions per 90, low, below average. Shot creating actions per dribble is high though. In the top 15% in Europe.
That's his key stat, isn't it? The dribbling.
That's clearly where he earns his money. Is the dribbling, those shot creating actions. Defensively, not so great. Doesn't stack up pretty well defensively compared to other forwards. He's below average in all the metrics except for tackles in the attacking third, where he's above average, which is probably where you want him to be. Dribblers, he doesn't do well against dribblers, although when he does compete with them, he seems to do all right.
What's his pressing stats like? That's what I want to know. Do we have pressing metrics here?
I don't know if we have the pressing. I don't know if we have pressing. We have team pressing, but I don't know if we have player pressing. Possession, though, touches and all this kind of touches in the attacking third is pretty good. Touch in the penalty area above average. But here's where he earns his money: is dribbles. Dribbles completed above average, dribbles attempted above average, dribble success rate above average, missed controls as well above average, and dispossessed. So he's pretty good at dribbling. That's the main stat here. And then all the others is progressive passes received just below average, but we need him to be getting those positions. But the important thing is, how does he compare to what we have at the moment? So I've compared him to...
Just before you go on to that, I mean, what I'm getting from those stats, I don't know if you're getting the same thing, but I get that he's going to be a very exciting player to watch, bums off seats kind of player, but he could be a bit frustrating maybe.
Yeah, he definitely seems like a player whose passing isn't fantastic, doesn't make too many keepers. He's not like a Kulusevski on the ball, basically. But what he is good at, he's good at taking on his man. He's good at getting shots off. He's pretty good when he does get his shots off as well. And he's good at getting crosses into the box and that kind of thing.
A bit of maybe a little bit of a better version of Aaron Lennon?
No, because Aaron Lennon wasn't really a shooter. This guy definitely.
But when he took his shots, they were good shots.
Yeah, true. I think he's more. I think Bergwijn's pretty accurate comparison. I think he's very similar to something like Bergwijn. Good at dribbling, good at shooting, getting in the box. A bit of a forward as well. But I think on the ball, passing and stuff like that, a lot to be desired at the moment. But let's see how he compares, how he stacks up against our current attacking options. So I've got him comparing him to Richarlison, Son, Kulusevski, and Lucas Moura of last season, actually. And I've taken Danjuma's stats of to ask me to pick a season. So I took his stats of last season to give the fairest comparison. Danjuma is best because this season.
So this is the Spurs players this season: Lucas Moura and Danjuma last season.
Yeah, because Danjuma apparently this season Emre got sacked. He fell out of favour with the coach. He's had injury problems, so maybe it's not so fair to compare this season. When it comes to goals, this is all per 90 metrics for Danjuma. Danjuma's the one highlighted in orange. When it comes to goals per 90, last season compared to our attackers this season, he's top. When it comes to XG per 90, these aren't per 90, are they? No, per 90 XG, he's top per 90 last season compared to the rest of our forwards last season. So he had a better XG than Son last season.
Just mad to think about, to be honest. Golden Boot winner.
Oh, sorry. No, this is Son this season.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense then. That makes sense.
Yeah, I have compared it to Son this season because this is the Son we're getting. So I think that makes sense. So XG is the highest. Expected assists, he's the lowest, though, out of all our attackers. A non-penalty XG and expected assist added together, he's top, which is decent out of all our attackers.
He was their penalty taker last season as well, I believe.
Exactly. So the non-penalty XG is pretty strong, but the expected assist isn't so great. When it comes to shooting, shots on target per 90, he's top. Shots, he's top. So he definitely takes more shots per than all our other attackers. Shots on target percentage, he's second to Son. Probably that makes sense.
The problem is with stacking it up against these players this season. Son, I get it. I mean, that's what we're getting this season. But Richarlison hasn't played that much. Kulusevski has had massive injury problems this season, so he hasn't played that much.
Yeah, but these are per 90 metrics.
Right, okay.
So I think Kulusevski actually stacks up fairly well.
Okay.
I don't think because when he's been on the pitch, he's been good. Richarlison, yeah, he's only had 5.490s. I guess it's a bit harsh, but XG, yeah, so we've gone on for all XG. When it comes to passing, main thing for attackers, obviously assists, he's fairly low. But key passes, Kulusevski way out in front. He's bottom by quite a fair way when it comes to key passes. Danjuma, unfortunately, less than one a game. Kulusevski way out in front, 2.34. Yeah. So that shows how many key passes he makes. This is completed passes in the final third. He's way below anyone. Lucas Moura is actually top, but you got Richarlison, Son, and Kulusevski all way above him. He's 0.24, which is he makes one every 3 games. It probably says at the moment, so it's not great. Completed passes into the 18-yard box. He's bottom. Completed crosses into the 18-yard box. He's average 0.24. Richarlison and Kulusevski better than him. Progressive passes bottom by not even just below 1 a game. Kulusevski and Lucas Moura way out in front. So not so passing's not his forte. But when it gets to let's get to his dribbling, shot creating actions, he's bottom, so not fantastic there. Dribbles, what's it called? Shot creating actions per dribble, he's fairly decent, 0.12, although I would argue none of our attackers are very good at that. 0.12 is not particularly good per game. Defensive actions compared to the rest of the team, bottom for tackles. Tackles in the attacking third, only Lucas has lower. No tackles in midfield third, but that's fair enough. Tackles, blocks, interceptions, he's bottom. So he's not very defensive, basically, compared to our other forwards. But the big ones for him is dribbles and touches. So touches in the attacking third, he's second to Kulusevski. Touches in the penalty area, he's top by a long way. So he does get into the penalty area a lot. And dribbles, so here's a big one. Dribble success rate, he's second to Lucas. And dribbles attempted, only Kulusevski actually attempts a lot more dribbles. But dribble success rate, 54%. Which is pretty good.
Kind of feel like as an option off the bench, Danjuma, when we really need a goal and when we're pushing to get a goal, to throw him on and make him maybe the furthest player forward. It could be...
And we need to manipulate the player to get him in one-on-one situations.
Yeah.
That'd be good, because there's a 54% success rate for his dribbles. That's
but how many times over the past couple of weeks have you seen Son, especially in that Man City game, when he had so much space to run into, and he can create those positions to get beyond that last line of defence, and he's just not doing it at the moment. Maybe that's where Danjuma can step in and really help us.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think that's where maybe he'll become effective in those kind of scenarios. When it comes to passes received, he's the lowest, but when it comes to progressive passes received, he's the highest by some point. So he's good at potentially running in behind, getting those passes in advanced positions. So I guess, that's kind of him, comparing him to our four players. So I guess he's passing-wise, creativity-wise, and defensively-wise, the options we currently have are probably better. When it comes to the amount of shots he gets on goal, the amount of the XG, so the amount of positions he gets to, crossing and dribbling, he definitely adds something that we're missing in this squad. So bit of a mixed bag. Hopefully maybe the other stats he can improve while he's here as well. But clearly he offers something that the squad is lacking a bit in at the moment with our attacking options.
With the attributes that he does have, or everything that you're talking about, is that the attributes that Conte wants to see in his team? Is this a Conte signing, do you reckon?
It's hard to say. I think we have needed someone who's good at dribbling. Conte said that himself. Son's ability to dribble has really diminished badly. Kulusevski's a decent dribbler, but he's not one who's going to completely take on his man time after time in a game and get the better of him. He has to kind of pick his moments to be his man, I feel like, Kulusevski. Obviously, Lucas Moura, he's done. Brian Hill's not strong enough to dribble past Premier League defenders. So... Richarlison is also a decent dribbler, but he's not very tricky in that sense. He's more like a powerful dribbler. So I think Danjuma brings something to the party in that sense. And the fact that he's getting in more goal-scoring positions would definitely help us. So I think it's probably someone Conte would have wanted, but would he have wanted someone higher quality? Most probably. But hopefully, maybe Danjuma's someone who's undervalued right now in the market, and maybe put him in our team and he can be a lot more effective.
What would you rate this signing out of 10?
I'll probably rate it a 7 out of 10. 7. I think, well, considering it's a low-risk loan, probably 7.5 out of 10, because there's not much risk to this deal. But I think there's very little downside, in my opinion, to the deal, because it's only a 6-month loan. He's probably want to prove himself to earn a full-time contract. He brings something to the table we're lacking. But if you're looking for him to solve any creativity issues we're having or anything like that, he's not the guy. No.
Yeah, I'd probably rate it maybe a 6.5. I think there are big question marks about the quality that he does have. But I'm willing to give it a go, and I think that everyone should just be completely behind the guy as a new Spurs signing. Never mind what he's done in the past or anything like that. Look, you can debate it till the cows come home if you think he's a good signing or not. But once he pulls on that shirt, once he gets on that stadium, it's important to give him our utmost support and give him the best chance of succeeding here. And Paul O'Keefe have just said on Twitter that he's confirming that the buy option is 24 million euros. So not much at all, really. Not much at all.
Really not. Yeah, very decent price if he turns out to be a good signing.
Yeah. And also, not only do you might not even have to pay that, you can do a straight swap to Lo Celso if it comes to it. So I think, yeah, look, it's a good deal. I think it's definitely a deal where we have to wait and see because we don't know the true quality of the player. But I'm willing to give it a go and to see how he does do in a Spurs shirt, and I'm excited to see what he can bring because those dribbling stats are definitely stats that are going to get us off our seats in the stadium. It's just about how frustrating he's going to be at the end of them or with his passing and stuff. But look, that is our first signing of the window. We've had developments on Pedro Porro as well, as it looks like that deal could be round the corner as well. So we'll bring you updates on that one as and when anything happens. But that is your scout report on Arnaut Danjuma, Spurs' brand new loan signing with an option to buy at the end of the season. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.